thank the crowd. I thought everybody that showed up with a ticket was pretty loud, and we needed them late in the game, and they brought it for us. So as many as we can get in there, as many can make it, keep coming. I thought you guys helped pull us through. So that was big. A lot of credit to Kentucky. I mean, this is obviously, they're struggling. I thought they brought it tonight. They could have easily folded when we jumped on them early. They didn't. They fought back, ended up taking the lead. I think, credit to them that they competed as hard as they did over the course of the game tonight. But, our guys are older, veteran guys that know how to win, or learning how to win, showing that they know how to win in tight games. I think we had a 10-0 run there. They were up 2, if I remember, with what was it, 50, 54, 52, if I remember right. And we came out over about a 4-minute stretch there and pitched a shutout. They got the free throws in that late 3. We almost shut them out in the last 4 minutes. They got and scored those 5 points. But I thought our defense was great. We had Keon Ellis in there. He gave us great minutes there late, especially defensively. With the bigs that Kentucky's got without Bruner right now, and Reese is really banged up, so he couldn't give us what he maybe usually would have given us. I thought Juwan Gary was huge with his minutes. And, obviously Rowe wasn't quite back. He hasn't practiced for a week. So it was good we had him on the bench with us, but you could tell he wasn't quite there. So, but Herb and Petty as seniors to get the first sweep of Kentucky since, I think, 89, somebody told me. So happy for those seniors. And Petty hung in there. Wasn't his easiest game. They did a good job, I thought, on our shooters staying home. We only got 23s up, which is obviously not how we usually play, but we figured out a way to win the game with defense and rebounding. We're even on the glass with them. So without the bigs that we typically would have, I'll take that being even on the glass. I thought some guys fought. Herb, you could tell, was limping around. His back still really banged up from that fall he took against Mississippi State. But, he's 1 rebound and 2 assists away from a triple-double with a messed up back. So can't say enough about Herb. And then Shaq just came alive in the second half and really gave us that scoring punch we needed. And, obviously his free throws he's got to figure out. Him and Herb combined to go 19 of 20 at the free throw line. That was huge for us. So big win halfway through conference at 9-0. Really proud of our guys and the culture that they've created for themselves, and just winning, being able to win some close games here.
Thank you, Coach. As a reminder, just use the raise hand function for a question. We'll start with Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, you only got 4 3-point shots in the second half. What was offense? What was going on with the offense, and how much was that their defense?
Got to give them a lot of credit. They did as good a job defensively as probably anybody's done on us since we started winning. So I thought, they didn't get beat off the dribble that much. They were able to stay in front of us. They stayed big on us. They didn't collapse on the drives, like maybe they usually would have. I also thought we missed some spray outs. I mean, we overdrove the ball, had some opportunities to kick it out where we would have gotten more threes up, turned it over instead. So we got to get our offense fixed. It's not been good either of the last 2 games. We got to do a better job. That's on me. I got to put guys in positions to make better play. I got to get Petty more shots. We got to get, obviously Shackelford didn't shoot it great, but we got him going in the second half, coming downhill. But, Primo came out of the gate strong. Probably got to figure out a way to keep him going, getting him some easier shots. So I'm going to take the blame on the offense tonight. I got Quinterly's one of the best point guards going off the dribble, making reads. I got to put him in a better spot to make us better on offense when he's in there. So I'm going to spend a lot of time over the next 3 days trying to figure out how to fix that for sure.
Go to Cecil Hart next.
Coach, Juwan Gary got substantial minutes. Reese didn't look 100%. Obviously, Rojas wasn't at 100%. How did you feel that Juwan's minutes contributed to the win?
Yeah, I mean, he was huge. I'm looking right now at our analytics company that gives us the breakdown that points per possession when Juwan was on the floor. And how many did he play? He played 16 minutes. It was a 0.46, which, overall in the game, we were 0.79. So his 0.46 when he was on the floor was huge. He had some blocks, steals, fought their bigs in there. You know, I thought, I mean, shoot, if we don't have him, we don't win the game. So he was big for us tonight, you know, and didn't necessarily score a ton, but, you know, that layup he got in the second half, you know, with the left hand was big, kind of helping break open a little run there for us. So his defensive numbers and Keon Ellis's defensive numbers were really great. Keon Ellis was a .67 when he was in the game in his 13 minutes. So those two guys, and they were in there late when we needed to switch everything, got some big stops there. I think we stopped them 7 of the last 9 possessions, if I got that correct.
Go to Scott Griffin next.
I was going to talk about that last 4 minutes, the thought process behind keeping Gary and Ellis and going defensively, Nate, instead of offensively. Could have gone either way there. And then second part, just the ability to switch defensively with virtually everybody on your rosters is just terrific.
Yeah, you know what, we said we're going to win the game on defense. Our offense was struggling. We said we got to get some stops, some runouts. They really turned this thing into a half-court game. We had us down for 73 possessions, which is low for us. We'd like to have a lot more. But you know, Calipari's won a lot of games in his career. He knows what he's doing. You could see him yelling at his guys to stop, slow down. When it started getting a little bit up, he slowed it down and got it down to where they wanted it, not where we could get it going up and down as much. But, you know, when we came into that last 4, you know, I think we were down 2 at the under 4, and we're going to win this with defense. So we put a defensive group out there. Keon Ellis has been great defensively for us all year. Juwan's been great. You know, you add in, you know, Herb, who's one of the best defenders in the country. Petty's really, really high IQ guy that's been playing really hard on the defensive end, and Shaq's proven he's one of the best on-ball defenders. You know, he's Shaq's defense this year compared to last year's night and day, and proud of him, and he's been playing great. So you put those 5 guys out there, and, you know, when we need to get a free throw shooting team in after we got the lead, you put Primo in. He had done a great job defensively too, and you could switch everything with Primo in instead of Juwan. I thought, you know, that's a group right there. Those 6 guys that got a lot of stops there late in the game, won the game for us on the defensive end.
Next up, Tony Tsoukalas.
You know what?
Nate, what is it?
You had hold on, Scott. You had 2 questions. I know I answered the defense.
Yeah,
one.
just
what was
what
the
you
other
talked about, your ability to switch to me, not just this game, in the last several games is terrific defensively.
Yeah, no, we part of our recruiting was we wanted to recruit longer, more athletic guards and wings. You know, we have Herb, Petty, adding a guy like Primo, adding Keon Ellis in the mix, getting Juwan Gary back from his injury was all huge. You know, then you can switch them. I mean, you saw Primo and Petty and fighting the bigs in there. You know, they're guards, but Keon Ellis will fight the bigs. He's got some length. So yeah, we like the ability to be able to put a switching group out there that can do that, and that I thought it helped win us the game there late in the game.
Okay, go ahead, Tony.
Nate, what does it say about your team's ability to kind of shake off the frustration from the shooting and still keep that intensity late? And what do you see from them from a mental standpoint late in the game?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I thought I saw a little bit of frustration from some of our guys that typically are making shots. You know, to go from making 23 threes a few games ago to only hitting 6. This game we easily could have lost. What I think it shows is that this team's capable of winning many different ways. We can hit 23 threes and blow a game open. We're more than capable of doing that. You know, we've hit 15. I think we're averaging about 16 made threes over the previous 4 games coming into this. You know, Kentucky's, I think coming into this game, they were 15th in the country in defensive efficiency. We knew, you know, it was going to be a tough game. They've speaking of switching guys, they've got long athletic wings that can really sit down and guard when they're locked in. I thought this was one of those games they were pretty locked in. So, you know, I look at a guy like John Petty, who's arguably the best shooter in the country, one of, if not the, you know, where he struggles a little bit. He only got 3 threes up, 1 of 3. He could have easily, you know, not given us the effort, but I thought his effort was great, especially late. We had to get stops. He's one of the, you know, him and Herb got really high IQs, understanding what the other team's trying to do, and he was talking us through stops. And I trying to get him free for a shot. And he goes, Coach, I just want to win the game. I don't, don't worry about getting me a shot. We just got to win the game. I thought the play we were going to run was going to get him a shot anyways. Ended up Herb got fouled, went to the line, made 2 of 2 anyways. But, just to have senior leaders that just care about winning's huge. I think that's why we're 9-0, and we've established that culture of winning basketball here.
All right, we got time for a couple more questions, starting with Steve Moulton.
Coach, congrats on the win tonight. Yeah, you mentioned about going to defense in the under 4. Tell me the thought process on going to that defense throughout the first 35 minutes and change of that. And then I do have a follow-up about this weekend.
So we struggled on offense, and it's, there's obviously some players, and we've got all the analytics to back up what we think and support. Some guys are better offensively, some guys are better defensively. Typically, you want the group that gives you the best chance on both sides. We were really struggling offensively, but this was a game. I think in tight games, you win the games on your defense and your rebounding. So I kept asking, Charlie runs our defense, Brian's in charge of personnel. I kept going to Brian and Charlie, do we have the best defensive group out there to get stops? And we put what we felt like was the best defensive group for tonight with how they were playing tonight out there to get the stops. And they got it done in the last 4 minutes. Now, the previous 35 minutes, we showed, I thought we were good out of the gate. And I thought we weren't very good for large portions. Now it wasn't necessarily just the defense. I thought our offense really dragged us down tonight. We were not good offensively at all, but there was times defensively where we did, it wasn't as good as what we'd have liked. So I think to get it together when you're down late and to come up with the stops we needed to win the game late was big. But yeah, you'd like to see that defensive intensity from everybody that's on the floor for the whole 40 minutes. But to give our guys credit, they brought it there in the last 4 when we needed it. And it was there enough throughout the course of the game that we were able to win that in the last 4 minutes.
The follow-up I had, Coach, is it did look like Oklahoma hung on for a 1-point road victory. So another big opponent for you this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing really well. I haven't watched them at all. I'm going to do our cleanup from this game because it was disastrous on a lot of levels, especially offensively. But our assistants are all moving on to Oklahoma. We'll meet tomorrow. I'll kind of go through my cleanup with everybody, get what clips we want to show the guys. Our guys are off tomorrow, and then we'll reconvene on Thursday, have a game plan ready to go for Oklahoma. We do have to get some guys rested. Herb's really banged up. Reese is banged up. Petty, this guy's playing heavy minutes. You look, I mean, Petty was over 32. Shaq's up over, high minutes. Herb's at 33. We got to get our guys' legs back under them for the Oklahoma game. It's a huge game. I mean, it's big. We're winning games within the SEC. If we could get a non-conference win in late January, that would be huge for our resume come March. And we're putting ourselves in a situation where we could have a pretty high seed, and this game would go a long ways if we could go on the road and get one. And they're really good. I mean, when you looked at who was supposed to be lined up and they paired the teams up, I'm guessing we're probably outperforming what people thought when they lined up the SEC Big 12 Challenge, and Oklahoma may be doing the same thing.
All right. Thank you, Coach.